What's going on guys, Cesar here. Welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm talking about Tywin Lannister Dumb Moments. I decided to make this video because, Tywin Lannister is one of the smartest fictional characters I've ever seen, and only very few fictional characters could compete with him when it comes to intelligence. Maybe Walter White from Breaking Bad, Dexter from Dexter, Sherlock from Sherlock. Those are the only ones that could compete with the intelligence of Tywin Lannister, and even then, I think that Tywin Lannister is smarter than all of them. He was extremely intelligent, but also he was cold and ruthless. So yeah, today I thought I'd talk about some moments in Game of Thrones that were not exactly dumb, but kind of questionable to be done by someone as wise as Tywin Lannister. So yeah, let's just get right to it. The first one would be being completely outsmarted by Robb Stark. In the Battle of the Whispering Wood, when Robb Stark sent 2,000 men into Tywin Lannister to lure him away into a battle, and the rest of the army surprised Jaime Lannister with his force in the Whispering Wood, and he was captured eventually. In the book, Roose Bolton was the leader of the attack on Tywin's army to lure him into a battle near the Green Fork. However, in the show, Roose Bolton doesn't appear until season 2 episode 4. Anyways, like I said, Robb Stark completely outsmarted Tywin Lannister in the Battle of the Whispering Wood when he lured him into a fight and then captured his son. Tyrion Lannister was even confused after the battle. Why were there only 2,000 men? Where were the rest of the 20,000 people? But Tywin Lannister was completely oblivious. He was like, yeah, they went fishing or something. Who cares? So yeah, a very questionable moment for Tywin Lannister, especially that he has way more experience in wars and battles than Robb Stark. You could argue that he underestimated Robb Stark and he didn't expect him to do something that cunning, but that is also wrong. You should never underestimate an opponent. The next one would be making Arya Stark his cupbearer. This wasn't in the books, by the way. This was only done in the show. So it was obviously done only for fan satisfaction. However, if you think about it rationally, it was completely nonsensical. You're the most powerful person in the Seven Kingdoms, and you're at war, and an important one, a one that will decide your legacy for 1,000 years, as you say. And you just bring a random person you found in the streets as your cupbearer. A cupbearer is basically someone who's gonna be alone with you in the room for hours. He's gonna serve you food and drink. He's gonna hear everything you say in your war councils, and he's gonna also hear everything you say in your important personal secret meetings. He'll also have access to all the Raven letters that reach you. So it just makes no sense for him to give a random girl, he doesn't even know her name, he didn't ask for her name, he doesn't know where she's from, who she's loyal to, and he just gives her all these privileges. If your cupbearer decides to be a traitor or has the slightest loyalty to one of your enemies, you're screwed. He's gonna be worse of a traitor than any of your soldiers or any of your men, basically. So yeah, I know this was done only for fan satisfaction, but logically speaking, if Tywin Lannister really did that, it won't make any sense of him at all. Next would be making his children despise him. That's probably not the smartest thing to do in Game of Thrones. In a world like Game of Thrones, the most dangerous people against you are not exactly the White Walkers or the Night King, like they kept saying over and over again and again through the entirety of the show. And also not exactly your enemies. I mean, they could be dangerous, but still not really. The most dangerous ones would be your own family and your own men. And that's kind of how it works in real life also, I suppose. If you go and read about the crimes in real life, go to the newspaper or whatever, you'll find that 95% from the crimes are between families and close friends. So yeah, that's the regular thing. It's a rare thing for someone to be killed by an actual enemy. It's usually your family and friends. That's just how humans work. Sorry about the weird picture, by the way. I just didn't know what to put when I'm talking about crimes. Anyways, thankfully in real life we do have a judicial system that does not tolerate murders, and it's a rare thing for a murderer to actually get away with his crime. But that's not the way it works in Game of Thrones. There is no judicial system, there is no courts, there is no judges. The only way justice would be served when a crime is committed is when a powerful person demands it, whether his intentions are good or bad. But if no powerful person is demanding it, then the justice will not be served. It's as simple as that. For an example, Tywin was not so kind to Cersei. He married her off to Robert Baratheon, a person she hates, when she was only 19, and she wasted 17 years married to him, a man she hates. And then he tries to marry her off again to a person she has no feelings for, which is Sir Loras Tyrell. Now the question is, if Cersei Lannister, after all he did to her, decided to kill him by poison or whatever, will she suffer any consequences? The answer is probably not, because even though Tywin is the most powerful person in the Seven Kingdoms, after his death Cersei will be the most powerful person in the Seven Kingdoms, so who would dare to enforce justice upon her? Tommen? He'll probably just jump off the balcony. The only person I can see confronting her about it is probably Jaime, but most likely it will just be an argument for 10 minutes, then they'll kiss or something. So giving your sons and daughters reasons to kill you is probably not the smartest thing to do in Game of Thrones. Ask Roose Bolton and ask Tywin Lannister personally. Next one will be bringing Shae into Tyrion's trial. Why? I mean, why would you do that? I know that Tywin despises Tyrion more than anything, and that was basically the reason for his doom, but that was actually extra stupid and resulted to his real doom. See this moment right there when he takes that sip of wine? In that moment he achieved everything he has ever dreamt of. Jaime Lannister will finally leave Kingsguard and go to Castle Rock to serve as a lord and carry on with the family's legacy. Tyrion will be sent to the wall and he'll probably never see him again. Shortly after, Cersei will be wed to Sir Lord Tyrell and Highgarden will be brought into the table. So in that moment right there, in that specific sip of wine, he's achieved paradise. But no, let's bring a woman that Tyrion extremely loved to mock him during his trial, so Tyrion can have a mental breakdown and sets everything on fire. Like, that makes sense. Now comes the time for the dumbest thing Tywin has said in the show. It was this sentence right there.
Dragons haven't won a war in 300 years. Armies win them all the time.
Okay Tywin, here's the thing. Dragons haven't won a war in 300 years because they did not exist in these 300 years, but before that they were the ultimate decider of every single battle that was ever fought. The dance of the dragons was entirely decided by the dragons. Aegon the Conqueror used Balerion to destroy Harrenhal and he melted its towers and killed Harren. The entirety of Aegon's conquest was heavily dependent on dragons actually. Also Maegor Targaryen destroyed the Faith Militant using his dragons. During the 4th Dornish War, King Jaehaerys Targaryen and his sons used their dragons to destroy the Dornish fleet before it could reach the Stormlands. So the point is, when dragons did exist, they won nearly every war. So I don't know what exactly Tywin was trying to imply here, like I don't really get it. Anyways, that's all about Tywin Lannister's dumbest moments in Game of Thrones. They're not exactly dumb, but they're dumb by his standards, you know? I mean, Tywin Lannister is one of the most intelligent fictional characters I've ever seen in my life, so they feel out of character to come out of him. Regardless of these moments, he's still the smartest and the most cunning villain I've ever seen. Anyways, that's all for today's video. Subscribe for more and I will see you guys later. Bye.